back to Facing Purpose. I'm your host, Lakia Barnett, and I am so glad to be back on with you guys this week. I hope that you have been obedient and shared and told your family about all of in which that is going on right now that I want to talk about tonight. Is a very special topic that's been kind of sitting really heavy on my heart. I've had a very interesting week. Like, have you ever had one of those weeks where you just was like, I was not expecting this? It was really that kind of weekend for me, you guys. And, I'm just totally blessed and honored to be just sitting here in my right state of mind because a lot has happened over the last couple of days. But we all know that God holds the key to all of in which we go through, and everything is for a purpose and a reason. And I think that's what gave me my topic for tonight. And also, we will be having a very special guest of mine that's going to be coming in a little later on the show. And I am very happy to introduce the world to her. Because she's magnificent. She's been working very closely with me for the last couple of months, and I can't do anything but be grateful for the people that God has surrounded me by. But we're going to jump straight into it. I hope you guys are doing excellent tonight. I really do. I pray that you're touched and inspired by everything that I have to say tonight, because it's so relevantly important. And what I want to say is, like, family. That is the topic of tonight. And I know everybody like, what do you mean by family? I mean family. All of your family. Your sister, your cousin, your mother, your brother, your wannabe sister down the way that you've known for about 7 years. I'm talking about everybody, whoever you consider as family. And I just want to say that family is supposed to be love, right? And family is supposed to be encouraging. Family is supposed to be there when a crisis strikes, right? And some of us don't know how to do that because we're so wrapped up in our lives that we don't know what else is going on in our family lives, right? Family is not being judgmental. What I mean by that is you're not pointing the finger if somebody makes a mistake, right? If somebody makes a mistake, it needs to just be that, because everybody has to learn. We all make mistakes. And as long as we're still walking and breathing on this earth, we're always going to make mistakes because we're not perfect. But it's the way that you handle the situation and cleaning that up and making sure that you don't, go backwards and make that same mistake over and over and over again. Family is supposed to provide advice. When you have a family that comes to you in a dire need, you are supposed to stop what you're doing and provide them with some type of assistance to help them along the way. You're not supposed to leave them hanging. You're supposed to say, you know what, I can finish these papers later. Or you know what, I can go do this shopping later. That ain't even important. Some of us don't even know how to stop and do that when there is a cry for help, right? And letting the others, be able to make a conscious decision. Whoever you're giving your advice to in your family, you can give them advice, but let them be able to make a conscious decision to do the right thing at the end of the day. They should have been able to take something from what you told them and apply it to their situation, right? And that's without you being judgmental. Family is supposed to check up on you to make sure that you're good. Just because family is spending time with one another, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing what you're supposed to do as a family. Because sometimes you can spend time with somebody and not mentally be there, if you know what I'm saying. You can spend time with somebody. I'm going to say this again. You can spend time with somebody and you don't mentally be there. So what good are you to them if you're not mentally there when they need you to be? You can cover all the basics of, being there for them when they're emotional and being there for them when you can physically see that something is going on. But you got to cover all areas just to make sure that they're good, right? And here's the thing. And don't nobody get mad at me tonight, y'all. Don't get mad. Hear me when I'm saying this. You don't get ready to spend time with your family when tragedy hits. It shouldn't take tragedy for you to go and spend time with your family. Let me say this again. It should not take tragedy to hit your family in order for you to call and say, how are you doing? How are the kids? How are you holding up on your new job? Right? Some of us wait till tragedy hits and then start to call. Right? You never know how long you have here on this earth. This is what I realized this weekend, y'all. You never know. So many things happen within 24 hours. You'll be amazed what you hear on the news and what you hear from just being in the streets, just traveling, going about your everyday life. Just this weekend alone, I got 2 pieces of information that I was not ready for, right? And that also goes to show you that you can have something on your agenda, but it can be thrown off by what life's course has to bring you, right? So the first piece of information was, I got it that my husband's aunt passed away, right? And I'm trying to help somebody, so pay attention. My husband's aunt passed away suddenly. This was a suddenly thing. Nobody expected for this to happen. And it hit so hard that I wasn't even able to grasp what he was telling me, because I was like, we just talked to her, right? And then not only that, I hadn't even had a chance to process that part yet, right? And here comes something else coming down the pipe hole. Me and my cousin, I call her my sister cousin, y'all. Listen, she calls me. And she's like, yeah, you want to go to church on Sunday? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And we're going to go about and go visit my mom and stuff in VA. And guess what? I get a call at 7:45 when I'm up getting ready, thinking I'm on my way to church. But I had to make a U-turn and go on my way to the hospital because my grandmother has been rushed to the hospital, right? I had just had a conversation with one of my aunts the day before. A good conversation. And we were talking about how life is so short. Life is so short. We take things for granted, right? And just that quick, it became my life. It became in my life, real in my life. That goes to show you that you are supposed to cherish your family and your friends, right? Nobody has to pump you and gear you to go and see about them, right? Nobody. It should not take tragedy to make you understand that your family, they're here in life, in present where you can see them. They can't hear you when they die. Hello. They cannot hear you when they are gone. You are to go see them and make sure they're doing well. Stop by, bring them some food. You got to think about all the things that we don't think about. Just because it hasn't hit your family doesn't mean it's not going to hit it, because everybody got to go through it, right? Y'all, I'm getting excited. I've been in my belly all week long, so y'all got to excuse me on tonight, right? So I'm going to keep going with this. These days, people allow situations to divide their families and make them not call or show up at functions and not go over there just to say hello. There are things in that family that is divided. We're all divided. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me too. It takes things to happen for us to be like, you know what? Dang, I need to go see my grandmother. Dang, I need to go see my aunt. Like, it takes that one thing to shift us to go and see these people when it shouldn't have to take all of that, right? Life is too short. It's too short. When your loved ones leave here, you are supposed to have no pain, like Oh my God, I never called them. Oh my God, I didn't go and check on them. Oh my God, I didn't even stop what I was doing. I couldn't even get out of my own life's way to go see this person. You don't want to feel like that. It's okay to grieve over somebody, right? But check this. Some of us are grieving not because of what you think that you're grieving over. Half of the time you're grieving because you have regrets for not being in that person's life or not doing what you were supposed to do while they were living, right? I told y'all this was going to be deep. Bear with me. You have to call and check on them. You can't forget that you have people who need you and who rely on you to make it from day in and day out. You will never know that unless you pick up the phone and you call them. There are family members that are going through ups and downs in their marriages, going through ups and downs with their self-esteem, going through ups and downs with their mental, just processing that, you know what, I go through so much in a day's time with their health, right? So how can you forget about these people, right? You need to always set aside your time for your family. And I want to really get down to these ones that like to grudge hold. Those of you who like to grudge hold, y'all, we all can take accountability for that. At some point in our life, we've all held grudges against people. And you don't know how to let it go. You don't know how to let it go. You can't stand in your rightful place with God, is what I learned, with a grudge in your heart like that. Because if you haven't learned to forgive, right, wouldn't you want somebody to forgive you? So you need to forgive them. If life is too short like that, why are you still walking around thinking about something that happened 3 and 4 years ago? This is what we're trying to make sense of about family tonight. This is why it is so important that you invite your family onto this call. And if they're not on this call, you got to share this broadcast afterwards. Make sure it gets to them in their hands. Now, understand that some people you may have to love from a distance. We all got that. It's some people that don't need to share the same space, but that don't mean you walk around with a grudge. Let's be clear about that, right? But you still have to call and check them with them. It doesn't matter if you're loving them from a distance or not. Call and check up on them, and don't ever say that you're too busy to do that. Oh, they ain't important today. I ain't got time for that. I'm going over here. I'm going on this trip. I'm going out with my friends. I've heard so many people say that they've regretted somebody that they've lost in their family, regretted it so badly when they passed, and hurt it so badly when they passed away because they did not share that space like they were supposed to. They didn't make that time like they were supposed to. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit to my husbands and my wives. This dropped in my spirit too. And I'm a wife, so I know. I don't care what disagreement that you have with one another. Don't you dare go to sleep angry and without resolving these issues. Because when you do that, it can go left at any given moment. Neither one of y'all got to wake up the next day. You know, I know it's more easier said than done, but time is short. Embrace and cherish every little moment you have with one another. Forgive, 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 and don't go back on it anymore once you've done it. We spend too much time on who's doing what. That is not important. because the devil loves friction. He loves when you're not getting along. He likes when you're not speaking to your family. He likes when you turn your nose up at them when you know that they did something a long time ago and you ain't let it go. He, and hi, and in the corner like, I got him right where I want him at. Then it becomes the things of hatred. It turns into hatred. And then you forget about the real reason why you're here. Somebody got to be the bigger person. You're supposed to love hard. Break these cycles that we got rolling around in these families. We all got them. It's time to break the cycle with the families. Spend time with your children. Your life is not that busy that you can't take out with that child and they get kicking and screaming and yelling for your attention and you like, yeah, wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute, baby. Nothing. What if that child don't wake up or come home from school? Too much self-time. I always tell my kids too much idle time. That means something is going terribly wrong. Ask them how their day went. Take time out with them because your child may be struggling and you didn't even know it. If y'all listen to the news, you would know it was a young child that tried to kill himself at 12 years old. We don't know what that little baby was going through. But I can't even imagine that you will be 12 years old and you're ready to kill yourself. But that goes to show you that too many of us are not paying attention either. It's slipping through the cracks. How are these things slipping through the cracks and we're going without noticing them? That's because we're too busy. We're too busy. They can be depressed. They can be getting ready to commit suicide. Pay attention. Pay attention to the signs. We talked about this on last week. Don't be wrapped up in your own life. Love on your kids. Pray over them. They can go to school and don't come back home. They can step off the curb and get hit by a car. Your time on this earth is very precious, and this is the one thing I learned today, is that time is so precious and it's so short. God has given us so many signs that we should not be playing with right now. It's crazy because we miss it. That happens. It brings us grief. Yes, it is. It makes you uncomfortable. It's going to. It leaves you vulnerable. It has to. Some of these things are happening like that because God wants our attention. We're too focused on other things. This weekend, I literally had to process when I walked in the hospital and I saw my grandmother laying there. And I said to myself, you know what? I thank you, God, because she's still here. And my grandma is 85 years old, y'all. She's fighting. She's a fighter. And what I'm telling y'all is that pivotal moment for me was that I got to get myself together. I got to do better when it comes to my family. If you don't hear from them, call them. If you do hear from them, just 2 days ago, call them. My father and mother will tell you, I bug them every day. I'm probably the most bugging child they got because I got to make sure they're fine. To me, my mind and my mental won't allow me to go too long without talking to my family. Right? Get it right while you're here. While your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your mother, your father, you're going to be hurt when these things come about. But the thing about it is you won't have any regrets. You won't have any regrets. You will know that you have done your part by checking on your family. Don't be that one to say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't be that one crying your eyeballs out because you know you didn't do what you were supposed to do when that person was here. Family is so important, y'all. It's important. Your sisters and the brothers. I watched my sons argue one day. Some people think that that's cute to let them do all that, and I know it's normal. But for me, I look at things a different way. And I sat both of my boys down and I said, you know what? Both of y'all are my sons and I love you. But I'll be daggone if I let you sit here and be going at each other's throats like y'all somebody out in the street that don't know each other. You are supposed to love each other. I instill this in my children because that's the way I want them to be and I want them to grow up. So you got to be careful what you're putting out in the air with your children looking at you and, whoever in your family that's looking at you. You got to set the pace and the example. You don't have to be like it was back when. For what? You can change the game and do something different. It don't even have to be that way. You teach them kids how to diligently get themselves together and learn how to get along and deal with their problems without what they call scrapping it up or fighting it out. No such thing. You teach them now while they're young. That goes for you adult folks too. You having a moment with your sister or your brother, get over it. Because again, one of y'all don't have to wake up. It's so important, and that goes to show you, like, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, this thing's eating at me so bad when I left that hospital after seeing my grandma, y'all, I literally was just like, wow. And Tuesday wasn't even here yet, but it was close enough. It was close enough for me to just be like, I sat down with my friend and I said, you know what, I'm going to talk about this on the show Tuesday. And God just quickly was like, no, that's deleted. You can't talk about that tonight. Because I keep seeing the same things over and over again. When I wake up in the morning, I'm getting my kids ready for school. I'm looking on the news and I'm seeing accident over here, gunshot over there. Y'all pay attention. Earthquake over here. What if that was us? Right? Your family should be the next thing in line that you should be really, really praying for. Right? You should be praying that they do. You should be praying that they are not going through a struggle, that they're not going through, things that's mind-wrenching to make them want to go and commit suicide and make them feel like, they don't, like they don't even exist. People have feelings, you guys, and you got to understand that it's not all about you. The ones that you call your family, that's your close friends, you should be looking out for them. If you know they lacking in an area, that's where you're supposed to pick it up at. It doesn't matter how many things you have on your plate. God knows we all can handle it. We can handle it. We just choose not to. We just choose not to. We all choose to really, really try to escape what the real problem is. You can't escape it because it's going to keep bothering you. Love on your family. Don't let anybody divide you and make you think anything otherwise. Love on them. They can be drug addicts. They can be weed smokers. They can be chronic liars. They can be everything that you can possibly think of. But how do y'all know you're not assigned to that family member? We're all assigned to somebody. How do you know that you're not supposed to deposit something into that family member's life that you're trying to kick to the side because you got to go to your hair appointment? You got to go get your toes done. You got to go get your hair cut. You got to hang out with your boys. None of that is going to matter at the end of the day, because some of y'all know who y'all already accountable to and don't even want to pay attention to it. Some of y'all already know who it is. The person that lays on your heart the heaviest, you try to excuse them and say, that ain't my problem. Yes, it is your problem. We got to clean it up. We don't know how much time we got left, and we're wasting it on grudge holding. We're wasting it on being mad at somebody for something so small. I need y'all to focus going into 2018 on your families. We're focusing going into a new year on better maintenance of our families. The husband, the wives, the girlfriend, the boyfriends, everybody, whoever you can think of, we got to focus on the task at hand, and that is to get everyone in a space that is comfortable and that we are nurturing them and we're not leaving anybody out. We don't want any regrets at the end of the day. We don't want any regrets. So y'all, I have a guest as I have brought on tonight because she is she is hilarious. I love her to pieces. She has been a joy in my life since she's entered it. And it's nothing like having somebody that can pour into you just as much as you pour into other people, right? And I've had my low days where I just been like, you know what, I can't do that. And she just inspires me. My family loves her to pieces, And I just feel that she has been a true rider for the movement that I've started with I'm a Woman of God support group. And she's been with me, helping me pick up the pieces that has fell apart and different things like that. Her name is Jewel Grant, and she's going to be on the call with us tonight to talk with us about family. And we are going to, just enjoy her, and you guys welcome her and get used to hearing her voice because she's another fire for God and things like that. So I'm just so ecstatic to get her on this call tonight. Yep. So she is going to come and talk to us and give us her perspective on family tonight after I've just came in with a whirlwind that has been patiently waiting to get released to you all. And I hope that you guys took everything that I'm saying to heart tonight. I wanted you to feel it. I didn't want you to be comfortable. I wanted you to get uncomfortable. That was the point that I believe that I had to make tonight because it's such a heavy subject. It's such a heavy subject. Jewel, are you there? So, Jewel is on the line tonight, and she's going to go in, and we were discussing family, and we're discussing how important it is and how we can't take them for granted. And I just want you to, to give a message to these people today about that, because clearly this is a major subject right now. Like, life is short. People are dying day in and day out, and people don't realize that your family is valuable to you, right? So I'm going to let her take over real quick, y'all.
Hey, guys. This is Jewel. Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to come on and share my life stories and testimonies and thoughts about regarding my family. It's going to speak from personal experience. when Miss Kim first asked me to come on, I was like, Lord, what are you getting me into? But it's amazing that she brought up the topic of family. I come from a large family myself. I have my grandfather and grandmother had 15 kids total. And this is including the step and the biological children. And then my biological mother and father had 6 kids. My mother passed away when I was really young, when I was 5. And there became a point where we were almost in foster care. They didn't know who we were going to go to. And they reached out to several family members, and nobody wanted to take us in. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. 3 brothers and 2 sisters. I make mistakes. And nobody wanted to take us in, and except for one of my aunts who was unable to have children. She actually she gave birth to her only child, and she had died at birth, and she would be the same age I am today. She took us in, you know. God laid on her heart. She was unable to have children, so she made a promise to my mother that she would take care of us all. You know, she had a passion and desire to care for children, but she couldn't have any of her own. And now to this day, you know, we all grew up in the same household. Cousins lived there, aunties lived there, uncles lived there, all in this one house. And then when my uncle passed away, who was the man of the house, everybody just kind of scattered. And I heard Miss Kidd talking earlier about how, you know, when death comes, it brings people together. But in this case, everybody just kind of went their own separate ways because nobody knew how to handle it at the time. We were all very young. My aunt, she went through a nervous breakdown from her husband passing away, and she didn't get the help that she needed to keep her together, you know, the help from her sisters and her brothers to kind of keep her together because she kind of lost her mind. Her husband was her everything. And when she had the nervous breakdown, lost the house and lost the car, lost the job, and everything just fell apart. And, you know, I do believe, too, that family is very important. It doesn't matter what you're going through or what that person is going through personally. We all need to reach out to one another and connect with one another and share, you know, resources with one another because you might have something that I need. I might have something that you need. We all need to help one another. Even to this day, I'm a single mother. I have 1 child. But like I said, I come from a large family. And to this day, since my uncle passed away back in 2000, we've all scattered pretty much around the DMV area. I even have some family in Chicago, in Illinois, in Texas, in California. We all scattered around. And we haven't really came back to as a family since that happened. Only on, you know, holidays or funerals, we come together. And this is really heavy on my heart. I take it very personally because they're my family members. And I feel like I don't have anyone here sometimes to talk to, you know, to reach out to, you know. I'm guilty myself. I do find at times I might call, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure we all a little guilty of it. Calling family members when we need a little money here and there, you know. But sometimes it's much more than that, you know. We just need somebody to talk to, you know, somebody to push us in the direction that we need to go in. Going into 2018, I do agree with Ms. Kidd. We need to focus on family and keeping our families together. The Bible does say in the end times that mothers will be against their daughters and the fathers against the sons, that there will be separation in the household. And we don't want that. We don't want Satan to come into our homes and tear our homes apart. So what we need to do is work on the opposite.
Yes.
If the Bible says this is what Satan is going to call us to happen, then we need to work on trying to prevent that from happening. And so going into 2018, I believe is one of my goals, reaching out to family members who are across the country, those who are here within the DMV. I found out I had family members I didn't even really never meet. They knew me since I was born. And it was a blessing to I tell you, they had so much love for me. I'm like, I don't know who this lady is, but that's all right sometimes. When you meet family members that you don't really know, because they might have something. There might be something on there, something that God, an assignment that God has given them to handle concerning you. So it's important to stay connected with all of your family members, even if it's just calling them, saying, "Hey, good morning," or Facebooking them and say, "Good morning, how you doing, cousin?" or how the baby's doing, and checking up on them and making sure they have what they need, because sometimes people are going through mentally and they're crying out to us, and they're becoming, suicidal and psychotic, and we miss the sign.
Yep.
That I'm feeling angry on Facebook posts.
Yes.
Might be a cry for help, or I want to pull my hair out, or those things are cries for help. And so even if it's not something that's concerning us, or we feel like we might not be able to talk to them about or person, just give them a call and say, "You all right?" They might break down in tears just to hear your phone, just to hear your voice, or just to get that phone call from you. I was watching The Voice yesterday, and there was a young lady on The Voice, and she shared a little bit of her story, and she talked about how her brother died last year.
Yes.
He committed suicide while she was in the next room. She was in the next room, y'all. If she had have known there was something that she could do or say to her brother to prevent him from committing suicide, I'm sure she would have.
Yes.
She was in the next room. She didn't know anything. He probably was giving so many signs, just
not being happy
in his life, And sometimes we can completely miss them, because we, like Kid said, we're too busy focusing on our jobs or making money. There's nothing wrong with those things, but you got to know what's important first at the end of the day. Your family is important first. Keeping your family together is the first thing you need to worry about. If that job is keeping you from raising your child and having time with your husband, maybe you need to pull back a little bit.
Yes, say it again.
Just a little bit. I ain't saying give it up now.
Yes.
Just pull back a little bit. Get some time off. Request for some time off from work so you can be with your husband or be with your children. They do have those that you can put in 2-week notice.
Yes.
Months ahead of time. Or if it's school or anything that's causing you to be away from your family too much, and you're not focusing on the well-being of your children or your husband or your aunties or uncles, you need to pull back and come back to it. Make sure everybody is all right, because everybody has a piece in the puzzle.
Yep.
All of us hold a part in the puzzle. And if one part of that puzzle breaks off, slowly the rest of the puzzle going to start coming apart.
Yep.
We have to keep that puzzle together as long as we can, as tight as we can, and put some glue on it.
Yes.
The super glue. That super glue is that prayer.
Yes.
The prayer is the super glue, okay? We have to pray for one another. We have to lay hands on one another. Yes, our family members. Yes, we do. We have to pray and lay hands on one another and keep in contact with one another. It's so very important. It's so very important, because sometimes, when we grow up and we move out of mommy and daddy home or auntie, uncle's home, and we have our own kids and things, and we're going through our own personal situations, we feel like our family members can't understand what we're going through. But y'all that's from the old school, what they always say, baby, I done been there and done that.
Yep.
So y'all older family members, y'all got to reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out to us young people. We need y'all. Y'all have a lot of wisdom and a lot of things that you can teach us and encourage us about. It might seem like we're not listening at the moment, but trust me, we're hearing everything that you're saying, and we're holding tight to everything you're saying, because when we get in that situation, it's going to come back to us. Oh, well, Auntie said, that's a red flag, baby. You need to be there alone. You know how Auntie was giving the red flag? But going back to this family and the importance of keeping our families together going into 2018, we need to really sit down and set goals and plans concerning our families. We've been, over the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of us have been focusing on pushing and making the money, getting money, working hard, getting money. Everybody trying to make it. But at the end of the day, I'm a witness. I'm a single mother. I have a job. I work. I make money. But guess what, y'all? I'm in the shelter.
Hello.
I'm in the shelter. And guess what? My baby is my very first priority. My little 9-year-old is my first priority. I make sure she is okay, mentally, physically, financially. This morning, before she got out the car, she said, Mommy, I know who Jesus is. I love Jesus. She said, I believe Jesus. I had to stop her because she was getting out the car. I said, well, hold up now. I said, you believe that he died for your sins and he was buried and rose again on the third day? I had to finish it.
Yes.
I had to make sure she understood, because that's what you have to do as a mother.
Yes, you do.
You have to make sure they understand that there is a God.
Yep.
There is someone greater. There is someone. That communication between her and that's what keeps us together.
Yep.
This is why it's important for us to reach out to our extended family members. Even when they're in another state, that communication is going to keep y'all tight.
Yes.
Even if it's 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 60 seconds out today, give it a little time. Even if you got to sit and write a letter and put the letter in the mail, do it old school.
That's a form of communication either, so none of us have no excuse when it comes to that.
Most of y'all older family members got addresses for family members that's down south. I know y'all do, because every time family reunion come up, y'all know who house to go to.
Yes, say that.
But yes, prayer first. Cover your family. It's very important. Cover your families. Pray over your children. Pray over everybody. The grandchildren, aunties' children, cousin children, grandpa, grandma, everybody.
Because what people don't understand is, and I'm going to take this back for a minute, y'all, because Jewel is making some very valid points. We have to pray. This is the time that we need to be praying. And me, myself, I'm learning that every day that God gives me another chance to wake up, I should be praying. Y'all, when somebody comes up in your spirit at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, like, this is me, y'all. Like, I be getting up, and I be thinking, I got to go to the bathroom, but then something just hit me like, oh, man, I really need to, see about such and such today. You know what I'm saying? Because those things that we ignore, we try to sit on and be like, oh, man, that wasn't nothing. No, that was something for you to call and find out what is going on. I'll give you a prime example. I was waking up from my sleep around 3 or 4. This was like a year ago. One of my close friends, I had a dream, that she got into a car accident. And it was almost like I couldn't touch her. I just stood there and watched the whole thing happen. When she got out of that car in my dream, she was not hurt, but the way that it looked was like she was dead, right? And let me tell you something. The moment that I saw that dream, I took it very seriously. Because some things you got to pay attention to. You got to be able to separate what you need to be paying attention to and what you don't need to be paying attention to. And I instantly got on my knees because it scared me so bad, and I started praying for her because I didn't know what was going on. The next day, I found out that her husband was in the car accident. But he came out of it with not a scratch nor a bruise. So you just think, if I was so busy trying to get my sleep that night, right? And when God wakes us up and he say, hey, you need to be such and such needs your prayer. If I hadn't got up out of my sleep to say a prayer, anything could have happened to her. My prayers sealed it, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all got to pay attention. It ain't about you. I said this last week when we was talking about faith and purpose. It's not about you. If I had clearly ignored the feeling that God was giving me, because that's clearly where it came from, I could have gotten a call that it was the other way around, but my prayers stopped it. Some of us don't believe that you got power to pray. You ain't got to be a preacher. You don't got to be a minister. You ain't got to be none of that. You can pray for your family members. We got to get it together. We ignore so many things, and I keep saying it because it's so true. We keep on ignoring stuff, and stuff keep on passing us by, and we're going to be weeping forever. We're going to be weeping. Because y'all not getting it. Y'all not, it's the clarity is not coming to you the way that it should. And by now, we all shouldn't have got it, because I know a lot of us didn't experience death more than one time, and we're going to keep experiencing it until we getting out of here. You can never really prepare for death, right? You never prepare for it. You can't. It's no possible way that you can do that. But the thing is to make sure that you're doing all you can do for that family member or for that person in your family while both of y'all is still living. Because you don't never know when you going up out of here or them. You got to be clear. The tips I want to give y'all tonight, and I'm quite sure Ju got a couple of them. She started off really lovely. Y'all got to pray. Pray. You don't know how to pray? There is no special way to know how to pray. Just do it. My little 2-year-old is 2, and she know how to put her hands together and say, God bless mommy, God bless sister, God bless auntie, God bless cousins. She knows how to do all of that at 2, but that's because me and my husband have shown her how to do it. You got to show these babies how to do it. Somebody showed you. There is no right or wrong way to pray. So that's the first tip we're going to throw out there in the air. The second thing I will tell you is to be consistent. Don't start 1 month. I'm going to go see hi to such and such. We're going to go hang out. I'm going to call such and such this week. And then after a while, you start dropping off. What happened? Consistency. If you're consistent getting up in the morning, my father said, well, if you can get up in the morning, you can do everything else. If you can go to that job, you can go to that club, you can go to that house party on 38th, you can be consistent with your family.
Yeah, I can definitely speak on the consistency part from personal experience. Your consistency, when you pull back, it affects everybody, not just you. It affects everybody who is connected to that person or whatever group you're in or whatever ministry you're in or your family, whatever it may be, whatever you consider to be family, it affects everybody. So if you come 1 time or 2 or 3 times and you say, I'm going to leave that alone, or they all right, or I'm going to pull back, or sometimes we become selfish and we worry about ourselves. It's about me. I need to get me together. I need to get my finances together. I need to get my house together. And we forget, it's not about you, it's about everybody. And so when you pull back, it affects everybody. I can speak from personal experience regarding ministry. Recently, I pulled back from my church home, and I didn't realize how much it affected everybody I was connected to within the church until I started going through my own like maybe they were like, well, you weren't here when such and such happened, or you weren't there when A, B, and C, D happened. So, but you need our help now. And that's how family members can get sometimes. You know, they go through their own personal experiences. And, for example, you need some money. And 5-6 months ago, when your cousin Rochelle needed some money, you wasn't there when she was going through. And she reached out to you several times. But now you need this money. And she got it. But family members can sometimes become complacent, and they will hold those things against you, and they won't help you because you weren't there for you. But we have to learn to stop being selfish and stubborn, and we have to learn to forgive one another because we all going through things, and sometimes we might not have known that it was something serious for you. But all it takes is a phone call. Just call and talk it out with one another. But it's very important for you to be consistent in whatever you're doing, whether it's with your family, your prayer time, your meal time, your talking with your children, and your homework time with your children, or your job, or within your ministry. It's very important for you to be consistent because it affects everybody, not just you.
That is very important, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. I told y'all in the beginning that tonight was going to be very uncomfortable because family is everything. It's everything.
Listen, we're living in the end time. This is 2017.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, the Bible talks about separation among families, among households.
Yep.
And the Bible doesn't reference the bloodline of Jesus Christ just for no reason.
Right.
Okay? That's being referenced because he needs us to understand that our bloodline is important. It's something that's important that needs to be prayed for, that needs to be covered consistently because some of us don't even realize our bloodline go all the way back to Jesus Christ.
Yep.
We can be connected, we can be connected and not even know that we're connected. Mm-hmm. But it's important for us to cover one another because as we get closer to the end of time, Satan is a deceiver.
Yes, he is.
We have to make sure that our families know and they recognize and understand what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's not, what's real and what's not. And the only way to do that is for us to look out for one another.
Yes, indeed.
Whether it's concerning the jobs that we choose or the people that we date or even the roads that we drive down. We have to look out for one another. Even the car that we drive or the bank that we choose to put our money into. We have to look out for one another. It's very important. Satan is such a deceiver, guys. And we have to make sure that we're covering one another because he can come in any form.
Yep.
Yes,
indeed.
What you might see, I might not be able to see.
Hello.
What I don't see, I might not be able to see.
Yep.
And that's why it's important for us to stick together. Our bloodline makes a hell of a good business. See my name. But it makes a hell of a business. We have to pray for one another and cover one another. Because, like I said, he wouldn't give us that example of the bloodline of Jesus Christ in the Bible if it wasn't a relevant fact to us.
Yes. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm so glad that Jewel came on tonight. She, again, is a part of I Am a Woman of God, which is on our Facebook page. And you guys, if you guys are following it, if you're a woman and you need a support group, make sure you look into that group. And we are going higher and higher in 2018. I just want to seal this before it's time for us to get off of this broadcast. You guys be praying for each other. Cover your families. Cover your husband. Cover your wives. Cover your girlfriends. Cover your sons. Cover your daughters. Cover your grandmas. Cover your aunts. Cover your sisters, your brothers, your cousins. Cover them in prayer at night because you never know when you will see them again. And this is it's such a fragile subject, and I have been saying this all week long. It really is. It's such a fragile subject, and we don't understand things until it actually happens to us. You don't know what that hurt feels like until it hits home. So you guys take what was given tonight and be obedient. Not to me, because I'm just a vessel that God uses to give you this. Be obedient and cherish your families. Don't walk away from the ones who need you. Just because they don't verbally tell you doesn't mean that they don't need you. Right? I thank you guys for basically, y'all ride it out with me tonight. And this is not something that a lot of people can receive, but I pray that you have received it from both sides, from Jewel's side and mine. And I hope that you will come back again next week and tune in for more that will, come about from Facing Purpose, because that's what we're doing. We're facing purpose. All of this is a part of purpose. All of it. It's all a part of purpose. Nothing is left out. Everything is accounted for in these last days. Everything. Everything is accounted for. Everything is accounted for. Nothing can go undone in these last days, right? So I want you to make sure, if your family wasn't on this call tonight, share it with somebody. Be a blessing to somebody else. We're trying to reach the masses. There are people around here that are struggling in their families that need to hear this. Don't be selfish. Share the blessing to somebody else. And I want you guys to tune in. If I'm not able to respond to, if you have comments and questions, you can email me at facingpurpose32@gmail.com. Again, you can follow me on I Am a Woman of God support group, or follow me on my regular page, which is Lakia Barnett, and I will be sure to get back with you guys. But expect greatness coming out of Facing the Purpose. They messed up and gave the wrong person a show. I'm so serious, because it's clearly we have a lot of house cleaning to do before 2018 comes in. We got a lot of house cleaning to do. We all got to throw out some stuff that need to go now before 2018 get up in here. And it's going to start with the family. It starts with the foundation. The foundation is the family, right? So y'all make sure y'all taking heed. I don't care if you had to pull out a notebook, a piece of sock, piece of paper, get some toilet tissue, like my daughter go right on the back of the CD case, whatever you have to do what you need to do. Don't forget the message on tonight. I'm so grateful for you all. I love you all. I thank you for tuning in tonight. Jewel, you are excellent. And believe it or not, this ain't the last y'all going to hear from her. We are planning big things going in 2018. We were just talking about doing a vision board live party on Facebook, and we want everybody to tune in so we can get together and set goals for our families going into 2018 before 2017 closes out. So, it's a lot of planning going on right now in the background. So I want you guys to just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout and spread the word for us so we can do what we're called to do. And we're walking in our purpose. That's what we're doing. Jules, you got anything to say before we get on out of here?
What I would like to see everybody that's possibly, maybe we can talk more about it next time we come on, going into this next year, 2018, we all should make an emergency plan, an emergency goal plan. That's what I want to see. So, but anyway, Ms. Kia, thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for
I thank God for letting us have this broadcast. Thank you for everyone that's been listening. God, we thank you for the words that you've given us to speak on tonight. Thank you for Miss Kia. God, I pray that you will cover her in the name of Jesus. Cover her family members. Cover everyone that's on the broadcast. Cover myself, Lord. Cover our families, God. Cover everyone who is connected in the name of Jesus. We just pray your power and your word, God, that you would use us to bring women together in the name of Jesus, to speak on those topics that are touching that people tend to ignore. God, we thank you for this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. We out of here. See you next week.